Hello everyone, if you've just cleared CA Intermediate, this video is going to help you with selecting your articleship, picking the right domain, picking the right size, whether it's a small size, mid size or a big four. I'm going to be walking you through the entire process, selecting your articleship, how you're going to find firms, how you're going to get the actual opportunity and finally join. I'm in a very unique position to help you right now because the first 6 months of my articleship, I worked in a big four. And recently, last month, I shifted to a small size firm. So I have experience in both places here. And I also have the perspective of a ranker because I got All India Rank 3 in CA Foundation. I have these unique perspectives at this moment. And since you're in the position of finding your articleship, I think I can help you with that. So picking an articleship is by far one of the most difficult and one of the biggest decisions that you have to take throughout your CA journey, because it not only affects the next 2 years of your life, but after you become a CA, it's going to affect all of the different opportunities you're going to get at that point of time. Because say you don't get enough of a brand name or you don't learn enough in your articleship, that's going to affect you a lot after you become a CA as well, because people aren't going to value you as much if you don't have the right skills, if you don't have the right brand name. I'm going to talk through each of the sizes first, then we're going to talk about the domains as well. Then you can take a decision according to your own goals, because this highly depends. Every articleship is good. Definitely, there are, of course, a few that are bad, that don't really give you any learning or any brand name or anything. But most articleships are good, but it highly differs based on your goals. So I'll be talking about what is the best option for you specifically. So first is, obviously, we're going to talk about big four firms. So I was in one of the big fours for 6 months. And the reason I joined a big four in the first place was because my goal in life at the time was to get into consulting. And to get into consulting, you need an initial brand name. You need that initial push through having some prior experience in a corporate once you become a chartered accountant. So that's why I joined a big four in the first place. I joined in the stat audit domain because there weren't any other openings in that firm at the time. So yes, the biggest pro of a big four is the brand name. Second pro of a big four is you really get to niche down on a specific topic. So since I was in stat audit, all I talked about, all I did the entire day was literally essays and other essays. So that's all we did the entire time. And thoda sa Ind AS ka discussion hota tha. But otherwise, my entire time was given just to talking about statutory audit and nothing else. Compared to a small size firm, in a small size firm, you're doing a lot more other things, but in a big four, you're just focusing on that one thing. However, the big problem with a big four is it highly depends on your team. It highly depends on your location as well. Like if you get into a team that does not have a very large client, then you don't get as much exposure. But if you join a team, say that audits a huge company, like the biggest one of the biggest companies in the country, then you as an individual, as an article, out of the 50 other articles who are working on that company, only get to work on like one line item, even maybe a part of that single line item. So you do not get the entire exposure of how an audit is negotiated, how the fees are negotiated. In fact, you won't get this in any big four, in any opportunity, from the start to the end. Ki client kaise aaya, how we decided the fees, then how we prepared all of the work. Instead, in a big four, it's just going to be your manager is going to ask you to do something and you're going to do it, and the work is going to be passed on to someone else. That's it. So you don't get the entire breadth to breadth learning, but it gives you the best image for the next job after you become a CA. If you want to go into consulting or if you want to get into the best jobs, then big four is obviously the best path for you. And another big pro of a big four is you get really good industrial trainings out of a big four, because of course the industry matters, gives more importance to people who've come out of a big four, because they have that instant credibility that they've worked in a big four. As I talked about, there are cons that you don't get the entire width and breadth of the work that you're doing. You won't see the full process. And compared to a small size firm, there are a lot of basic tasks that once you grow up, a CA is required to do. Say like basic tasks like filing an ITR, GST registration, negotiations with the income tax department, GST department, or a ton of other things like ROC compliance, making a company, shutting down a company, issuing shares, all of that stuff. there are a lot of basic tasks that are not really basic at the beginning as a new article that a CA is expected to do, and I can guarantee you, you will not learn these things at a big four because they only care about their particular client and that particular client's single line item. So you won't be learning that stuff at a big four. So that's a definite con. A second con is you might get into a team that has a really stressful work culture. Like I knew a person in my articleship who was working till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. and then coming to office again at 10 a.m. the next day. And this happened every day since the first day of their articleship. So yeah, if you get into, and there are people who have really good teams who leave at like 7 p.m. and they chill. So it highly depends on what kind of team you join in, and you don't get much of an option in that. Of course, there are options to change your team, but you really have to struggle to do that. So if you don't get a good enough team, then you're going to suffer a lot in a big four. In a small size firm, at least you have the opportunity that you go to the firm, you talk to the people and you understand what the situation is, and then you can take a decision to join. But in a big four, you don't get the option there. Another con is, of course, the time that you get to study is very less in a big four, especially if the work culture is bad as well. Then you're not going to get any time to study. I personally literally had to drive 3 hours one way to get to my articleship. I can just say 3 hours right here, but 3 hours is a lot. It's like driving to Mumbai, Pune 2 or 3 times a day. And that was really stressful for me. And that was one of the main reasons I left the big four in the first place. So yeah, if you're not getting time to study, you're not going to become a CA in the first place. And my main priority was to get a rank. And I, at that point, could not even make time to sleep. I did not have the time to study, was way too far. I couldn't go to the gym. I have a ton of different goals in my life as well. So if you get into that bad work culture, then you're not going to get the opportunity to do all of the other stuff that you might want to. So think about that when you're joining a big four. But if your main goal is a job, then definitely this is one of the best options. Now we're going to talk about small size next, because mid size is like the middle ground. It goes by the name mid size. So it has a few of the pros and cons. It highly depends on the mid size, because there are large mid size firms and there are small mid size firms as well. You are going to get a few of the pros of big four and a few of the cons of big four, and thoda sa pros and cons of small size as well. It highly depends for a mid size. So I'm going to talk about big four and small size. And mid size का you'll have to see फर्म जाके, फर्म से बात करके कि वो कितना बड़ा है एंड क्या क्या अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलेंगी. स्मॉल साइज के लिए इफ आई से biggest con, no brand name obviously, but biggest pro is you are working with a ton of articles on 50 million different situations that the firm is facing, and you're doing end to end task. कि मतलब client आ रहा है, आपसे बोलेगा कि आपकी प्रॉब्लम क्या है, and then you are trying to fix that problem. You are searching up stuff in the acts, you are trying to find loopholes. You're looking at income tax, you're looking at GST, you're looking at ROC compliance, you're looking at CFO services, you're looking at, there are a ton of different things that you can do in a small size firm, especially a good small size firm. If one, it's with a person that you know, so you don't have work pressure at all. And second is if you talk to the people there specifically and understand what kind of work they're doing, and you choose it very strategically कि मुझे ये टाइप का काम करना है. Like my small size firm, I talked to them very specifically कि भाई मेरी ये time limits है, is that fine with you guys? And they were fine with it. And second, मुझे ये काम करना है, they were like तुम्हें जो काम करना है उससे भी 10 और काम करने को मिलेंगे. So I was very happy to join. In fact, I got better friends and more talented people in the small size firm than in the big size firm, in the big four. So it highly depends on, you have to choose the small size very strategically, because you can get a lot of benefits in the small size. But yeah, the main con of a small size is no brand name. Mid size, as I said, middle ground of both big four and small size. तो firm से बात करके, firm की website देख के, firm को mail भेज के, कुछ ना कुछ करके, you have to find out कि आपको क्या काम करने को मिलेगा, and talk to your seniors, talk to other people. If you don't have anyone to talk to, then search on Reddit or something. You can find details about the company anywhere if you search hard enough, and you will find out the pros and cons of each firm, and you have to choose this very strategically. Don't rush it. अभी articleship अभी just enter अगर clear किया है तो फिर you have another month to finish your IT, finish your OC. अभी instantly apply करना मत करो, अभी पहले एक लिस्ट बनाओ. Then क्योंकि articleship firms को क्या चाहिए होता है, as soon as you apply, if they reply, they want you to join the next day. ठीक है, एंड यू कांट ज्वाइन दैट क्योंकि अभी ITOC खत्म नहीं हुई. तो फिर एक महीना लो ITOC के टाइम, make a list of the firms, make a list of people, of HR people on LinkedIn, of people who are posting about vacancies everywhere, make a list of those people, and जैसे ही तुम्हारा time आएगा at the end of your of your IT, that is going to be the time where you have to finally decide कि कौन सा आर्टिकलशिप फॉर्म ज्वाइन करना है, एंड इंस्टेंटली मेल्स भेजनी है, कॉल्स करनी है भाई, कॉल्स करना सीखो, and you are going to get a good articleship firm if you research the firm very thoroughly. If I take like 2 minutes about my own strategy कि मैंने अपना आर्टिकलशिप कैसे डिसाइड किया था, तो मैंने इनिशियली मेरा सितंबर ऑफ 25 के अंदर मेरा क्लियर हुआ था, तो मेरा अक्टूबर नवंबर तो मेरा ITOC में चला गया था, फिर दिसंबर के अंदर फाइनली वैकेंसी आई थी इन वन ऑफ द बिग फोर्स. आई जॉइंड इन स्टैट ऑडिट. आई ट्राई टू फाइंड अ लॉट ऑफ फर्म्स दैट वर इन Delhi, even though I live in Mumbai, because that is my hometown. So I tried to find a lot of opportunities there, but there weren't any, unfortunately, because I kept communicating with the Mumbai people and they weren't interested in people who wanted to join in Delhi. Again, they didn't have any other opportunities available, so in my batch only there were only tax people and audit people. So I joined and I had a referral there as well. So, and yeah, बिग 4 के अंदर रेफरल ही चलता है, रेफरल ही चलता है, रेफरल ही चलता है. रैंक आया हो तो हाँ, टू सम एक्सटेंट यू कैन गेट इन, बट स्टिल यू वुड नीड अ रेफरल इवन इफ यू गेट अ रैंक. पहला इंटरव्यू बस मिस हो जाएगा, अगर रैंक आएगा उसके बाद भी रेफरल पे ही चलता है. तो एवरीथिंग गोज ऑन रेफरल. इवन इफ यू हैव लाइक 3-4 अटेम्प्ट्स इन यू, रेफरल होगा, मिल जाएगा, रेफरल नहीं होगा, नहीं होगा. दैट इज हाउ इट हैपन्स, दैट इज हाउ इट्स गोइंग टू हैपन, and you have to deal with that. Find a referral on LinkedIn. You have to find a referral, get a referral, क्योंकि सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज बिग 4 में वैसे ही आती हैं एंड आपको वैसे ही करना पड़ेगा. आर्टिकल से भी रेफरल मिल जाएंगे, ऐसा नहीं कोई बड़ा होना चाहिए. सर्च ऑन LinkedIn फॉर अदर आर्टिकल्स इन बिग 4, मैसेज देम एंड दे कैन हेल्प यू प्रॉबली. ऑफ कोर्स आई कांट हेल्प यू एनीमोर कि मैंने फॉर्म छोड़ दिया, बट देयर आर गोइंग टू बी अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल ऑन LinkedIn हु कैन हेल्प यू विद दैट. तो मेरी स्ट्रेटेजी थी कि मैंने 6 महीने उधर किया, फिर मेरे ये हालत हो गई थी कि आई हैड टू गो टू लाइक द हॉस्पिटल, क्योंकि मेरे पैर में इतना ज़्यादा दर्द हो गया था कि मैं ड्राइव तो अब कर भी नहीं पा रहा हूँ. और and I even tried shifting near to my firm, and as soon as I shifted there, they shifted me even farther away. So I didn't have the advantage of a good I shouldn't say this, but I didn't have the advantage of a very good work culture there. So yeah, I had to leave due to my personal reasons. That's no one else will deal with that. In the corporate world, you have to deal with your own personal reasons. So I left and I switched to a small size firm that is still pretty far away. So I still have to drive for 1.5 hours because I live in a pretty secluded place here in Mumbai. So I found a firm, and that firm is giving me a lot of opportunities in a lot of different areas. So I get the advantage there. When I'm talking about these opportunities, this is heavily dependent on your domain. So I'm going to talk about domain as well. Domain small size के अंदर क्या होता है? You get either all of the domains, या फिर जो practice है they're only practicing in 1 or 2 different domains. अभी इसके अंदर strategically तुम्हें सोचना पड़ेगा कि तुम्हें किस चीज के टाइप का काम करना है, एंड यू हैव टू डिसाइड अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट, अकॉर्डिंग टू द फर्म. लेकिन बिग 4 एंड मिड साइज के अंदर यू गेट दी ऑप्शन कि आपको उस फर्म के अंदर कौन सा डिपार्टमेंट पिक करना है. स्मॉल साइज के अंदर आपको सारे काम करने पड़ेंगे, ठीक है, आपको फर्म पूरा देखना पड़ेगा कि फर्म क्या क्या काम करता है. बिग 4 एंड मिड साइज के अंदर आप उस फर्म के एक डिपार्टमेंट में ज्वाइन कर रहे हो, क्योंकि उनके पास और 50-100 आर्टिकल्स है. तो बिग 4 एंड मिड साइज के अंदर अभी कौन से डोमेन्स है दैट यू शुड बी लुकिंग एट. सबसे पहले आता है स्टैट ऑडिट, स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट, विच इज अगेन टॉकिंग अबाउट योर स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑन ऑडिटिंग, योर इंड AS, योर AS, उन चीज़ों का आपका डिस्कशन होता है. एंड यू आर गोइंग टू अ क्लाइंट प्लेस मोस्टली, एंड यू आर मे बी यू विल गो टू अ स्टॉक काउंट ऑन लाइक 31st of March. I got the wonderful opportunity to go all the way to Bangalore. हमने फ्लाइट लेके बैंगलोर तक गया था, and I got to perform a stock audit. You won't get this opportunity in a small size. ये बिग 4 में ही मिलता है, ऐसे बाहर जाना और करना. एंड उसके अलावा you get to work on listed companies, and you do particular line items of the entire audit. तो उसके अंदर you get a lot of understanding of the different tools, SAP की understanding, Excel चलाना, वो सब आर्टिकलशिप के अंदर सीख जाओगे, especially in big 4, क्योंकि सब लोग उधर बहुत efficiently काम करते हैं. अगर उधर काम कर लिया तो भाई और कहीं भी टिक जाओगे, ये हाल होता है, क्योंकि उधर they teach you how to work, कि भाई काम कैसे करना है वो पूरा end to end सिखा देंगे. By the way, एक फर्म का देर आर अ फ्यू यूट्यूब चैनल्स, एक फर्म कह रहा हूँ, एक डिपार्टमेंट का देर आर अ फ्यू यूट्यूब चैनल्स दैट मेक entire videos explaining the entire domain. So I'm going to cover these in very short. You should watch those videos. पूरा एक डोमेन पे रिसर्च करो, पूरे नोट्स बनाओ, फिर प्रोज एंड कॉन्स लिख के डिसीजन लो. मैं बस ओवरऑल बता रहा हूँ फ्रॉम माई एक्सपीरियंस. इंटरनल ऑडिट के अंदर यू आर नॉट परफॉर्मिंग अ स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट, इनफैक्ट यू आर परफॉर्मिंग सर्विसेज फॉर लाइक अ कंपनी एंड दे वांट देयर फाइनेंसेस चेक, दे वांट देयर अकाउंटिंग सिस्टम चेक, दे वांट ऑल ऑफ दैट. You are performing an internal audit there. There's not as much exposure as a statutory audit in an internal audit, क्योंकि आप उसी एक कंपनी के अंदर बंद हो. स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट के अंदर यू गेट टू एक्सप्लोर अ लॉट ऑफ अदर डिफरेंट कंपनीज, डिफरेंट क्लाइंट्स, डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्रीज. ठीक है. टैक्स के अंदर जितना मुझे एटलीस्ट पता है, आउट ऑफ वर्किंग इन अ स्मॉल साइज फर्म, यू गेट एंटायर कवरेज ऑफ income tax and GST. You don't get to perform a tax audit. By the way, tax audit is a part of statutory audit. The statutory audit team usually performs tax audit as well. So if you are part of tax team, there are a lot of different templates for GST and income tax. तो उसके ऊपर ही काम होता है. मुझे उतना डिटेल में नहीं पता टैक्स के अंदर क्या काम होता है, because I haven't joined it. A huge interest of mine was joining in valuations, लेकिन हमारे अटेम्प्ट के अंदर उसके अंदर कुछ ओपनिंग नहीं थी. सो द वैल्यूएशंस डिपार्टमेंट, यू आर लुकिंग एट वैल्यूइंग डिफरेंट various different companies and finding out their net worth and using a ton of different methods जो हम लोग ने FMS सीख रखे होते हैं, and उसके भी बहुत ज़्यादा एडवांस जाके मैंने CFA लेवल 1 भी क्लियर कर रखा है, तो मुझे उस चीज़ के अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट था. ठीक है. तो एक वैल्यूएशंस डिपार्टमेंट होता है, एंड देयर आर अ टन ऑफ डिफरेंट माइनर डिपार्टमेंट्स ऑल्सो दैट आर लाइक सब डिपार्टमेंट्स ऑफ दीज बिगर वन. हर एक डिपार्टमेंट का इंडिविजुअल यूट्यूब वीडियो मैंने तो बहुत माइनर कवर किया, मतलब 5 सेकंड के अंदर, और मुझे उतनी डिटेल नहीं पता है पर्सनली अबाउट ईच एंड एवरी सिंगल डिपार्टमेंट. वॉच इंडिविजुअल यूट्यूब वीडियोज अबाउट ईच एंड एवरी डिपार्टमेंट, एंड इट हाईली डिपेंड्स ऑन योर गोल्स. अभी इफ आई टॉक अबाउट ओवरऑल एज अ पर्सन, इफ योर गोल्स आर these things, then you should be looking for these things. So me personally, my goal initially was getting a very good job with a rank and just getting the max of everything. कि मतलब best Articleship, best industrial training, and then get the best rank and then get to the best job. ठीक है, कि मेरी 40-50 lakhs की जॉब आनी. But then I worked in consulting for 6 months, in a consulting firm for 6 months, that is an audit, and then I figured out कि भाई ये मुझे नहीं करना है life. I figured that out later. You might also figure that out later. If you're looking for that, then join a big 4. ठीक है, you can get into a big 4, or if you're not getting a big 4, join a good mid-sized firm that is working in the kind of department that you want to work in the future. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप और कुछ नहीं कर पाओगे लाइफ के अंदर. if you have to make the final decision now, बाद में भी और भी चीज़ें कर पाओगे, लेकिन अभी एटलीस्ट एक रफ आइडिया ले लो कि मुझे लाइफ में आगे क्या नहीं करना है, तो उसको तो बिल्कुल ही मत ज्वाइन करना, लेकिन हाँ ये मैं करने में ठीक हूँ तो ये मैं कर लूँगा. ठीक है. तो इफ यू वांट अ गुड जॉब, जॉइन अ बिग 4 और अ वेरी गुड मिड साइज फर्म. इफ यू आर लुकिंग टू स्टार्ट योर ओन प्रैक्टिस, देन डेफिनेटली जॉइन अ स्मॉल साइज फर्म. स्मॉल साइज फर्म से बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग मिल ही नहीं सकती टू स्टार्ट योर ओन प्रैक्टिस. स्मॉल साइजेस विल मेक यू रेडी, कि मतलब CA खत्म हुआ, आप खुद की प्रैक्टिस उसी दिन शुरू करने के लिए रेडी रहोगे. वो एक बहुत बड़ा एडवांटेज मिलता है स्मॉल साइज के अंदर. तो इफ यू वांट टू स्टार्ट योर ओन प्रैक्टिस, डू दैट. एंड इफ यू वांट टू स्टार्ट योर ओन बिजनेस अदर देन अ प्रैक्टिस एज वेल, then also I recommend a small size firm or a mid size firm. That is what I am doing personally. उस केस के अंदर you get the time benefit as well, कि you can work on other things while you're going to your articleship, plus you get an understanding of how a practice runs, which you can apply to other businesses as well. तो मेरे लिए तो ये beneficial है. This is my path, कि I have selected a small size or a small mid size firm, and then I'm going to start my own business and maybe even my own practice. ठीक है. एंड स्मॉल साइज इज गोइंग टू गेट यू रेडी फॉर दैट. 100% पूरा समझ जाओगे A to Z. एंड मेरे लिए एडवांटेज अब क्या हो गया है कि मैंने पहले 6 महीने बिग 4 के अंदर कर लिया, एंड इसके अंदर कोई शर्म नहीं है कि मतलब पहले आप बिग 4 ज्वाइन करो, पहले साल के अंदर यू कैन स्विच योर आर्टिकलशिप 10 times ऑल्सो. देयर आर नो रिस्ट्रिक्शंस ऑन यू इन द फर्स्ट ईयर. एज सून एज यू एंटर द सेकंड ईयर, देयर आर रिस्ट्रिक्शंस ऑन यू ऑन चेंजिंग आर्टिकलशिप. ठीक है. तो फर्स्ट ईयर के अंदर यू कैन 100% स्विच विद नो ऑल्टरकेशंस, कि हमने 6 महीने 7 महीने 8 महीने इधर काम कर लिया, फिर मैंने स्विच करके किसी और फॉर्म में काम कर लिया, तो मुझे तो दोनों चीज़ों के होलिस्टिक मिल भी गया. आई हैव द ब्रांड नेम ऑफ द बिग 4 नाउ, एंड प्लस आई हैव द एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ अ स्मॉल साइज. सो आई एम रेडी फॉर बोथ, and that is a very unique position for me, and it is something that you can do as well. Join a very large mid-size or a big 4 firm in the beginning. If you like it, continue. If you don't like it, switch to a small size, and I highly recommend that. And it's going to be very beneficial for you because you get both aspects and you learn both the high level skills and the basic skills that every CA needs, and you're going to be fully developed in that part. I have that time gap. I don't know how much of a benefit it's going to give me, but at least I know that I have the brand name, I have the learnings, and I know that if somebody gave me this job to do, I could very well do it. Whether it's a big 4 job or it's a small size job, I can cover both because I've learned from both. Alright, so I hope this video helped you. If you have any questions regarding your articleship, then पूरा पैराग्राफ लिख डालो भाई कमेंट्स के अंदर, मैं रिप्लाई करता हूँ हर एक कमेंट को. तो डाल देना, and I'd love to help you out. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck.